Hey everyone, this is Peter. Welcome to my YouTube channel, episode 30. Yes! And guess who I'm hanging out with today? Guess who's going to be joining us today? Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, this is my buddy right here. I know, I'm so excited. Can't wait to share him with you. Hang on. We got some discussions. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is episode 30. Yes. Moving up there in the numbers. I gotta say, it's going to be an interesting episode. Yeah, let me tell you what, I have been learning so much, and it's been some exciting stuff. Well, first of all, before we get any further, let me say thank you to Raymond for my t-shirt. Yeah. Really, thank you so much. So love it. I so appreciate it. You rock. So thank you so much. Love that. Added to my t-shirt collection. Digging it. So yeah. So I'm actually recording from two cameras right now, and I want to see the difference because I believe it or not, I think I get better recordings off my phone than I do off my computer. So it's a little baffling at times. Technology. But anyway, guys, let's start. Let me tell you what's going on. Well, first of all, let's make this a little better for myself. There we go. Yes, so let's see. As you guys know, I'm in two locations, right? West Coast and East Coast. And finally, I'm heading west. Yes. Okay, so this is one thing that's tough about living in two places is that how do you decide what to keep in what part of the collection to keep where? And that's a tough one, right? So what's happening now is that I have the collection go to wherever it is that I'm living. So when I finally show you my collections, it's not my full collection because the other part is at the other location. So it makes it a little tough. So as I'm looking into my Star Wars collection, I'm thinking, okay, well, which figures do I have in the other location? The same thing with my Avengers and my Marvel collection. It's like, what's where? So it's making a little tough to have a cohesive collection. So this time when I go to the West, I may be taking some of the things that are here in the East with me since I am driving. Yeah, that's going to be exciting. To see how I make the collections wherever they're at a little more cohesive. And that way, when I show you my Star Wars collection, you see my entire Star Wars collection, wherever it may be, right? So that's something that I'm working on now. But it makes it a little tough, right? Because my collection is growing, but yet I know that it's a lot bigger than what I'm showing you because a lot of my stuff is at the other location. So yeah, that's a tough one. So as it is, I'm leaving. I'm leaving this coming weekend, and I already changed all my future mail to the other address. So I had to go through all my items on Sideshow and change the address to make sure that none of them come here. because that would suck if something would happen to them and there's no one here to receive it, or it sits out in the rain, especially now with no signature, right? So yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. And if you're going to be traveling anywhere, that look out for your collection, right? Really, really important. So that's exciting announcement.
Good news, everyone.
Then today I got some news.
News alert, breaking news.
Yeah.
News alert, breaking news.
I got the news that Barbie, Miss Barbie, is coming out with Helen Keller. Yeah, Aspiring Women, part of the Aspiring Women series, and I think that is pretty cool. So I'm sure that this, I mean, I can't even imagine someone not knowing who Helen Keller is, and if you don't, look her up. It's time to get that education, because she was a strong force in our world, in our country. So yeah, so good for Barbie. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is some of the future episodes that I have coming up. So, now that I've gotten to the point where all my cabinets are built, yay, now it's time to do some show and tell. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to doing some collection tours for you guys. So first of all, I want to do a tour of my studio, so you can see where the magic happens. And as you know, I'm an artist, so I am surrounded by the things that inspire me, and I have different parts of my collections in my studio in both locations. So when I talk to you in this room, I'm actually talking to you from my drafting table. And so as I look around, my room is set up. So finally, I'm going to be able to give you a tour room. And then from that, I'm going to be able to give you a tour of my closets. And both closets have different collections in them. This closet, on this side, it has a lot of my superhero collection. There's division between, like a shelf for Batman, another one for Superman, another one for Wonder Woman. There's a section for Black Panther. There's another section for Spider-Man. And then there's a mix of this and that, right? And it's not one company. It's a mix of different companies, including Barbie, because Barbie also has been doing a good series of Marvel characters as well. And in some situations, they nailed it. So as you could, as I'll show you, you'll be able to see how that works into the collection as well. So that's really exciting. And then in the other closet, it's more what you guys will call the doll closet, but it's so in that closet there is my 70s toys collections, like Barbarino, which was John Travolta, Charlie's Angels, Brooke Shields, like those type of collectibles. And then as well as I have some Barbies in there. I've got some Monster High. I've got my Ghostbusters. I've got Tanner dolls, and I have Integrity toys. I mean, there's like a lot going on in there as well. So that is super exciting. And then within this room in my studio, there is my collection of G.I. Joes. And my G.I. Joes have always been my number one passion. And it's like so freaking fantastic to have them in a really cool case. Actually a couple of cases, and I have a couple of dioramas set up on the floor and up on top, and I am so tickled with that whole situation, because finally they are looking good and getting the respect they deserve. Yay! Then on my detox, I have two, which I think I mentioned before. Not my favorite. But on the flip side of that, they look good. They look good. I got to give it credit where credit is due. I think they are cheap. We all know that. That's why a lot of collectors get them because they're so affordable, and you get one, two, three, four shelves inside, all encased, and then you actually get a fifth shelf on top. So with that, for the money that you pay, it's worth it, I guess. So yeah, so I'm very pleased with the way that looks, and in those, I have my special Barbie collection. And I'm digging the way that looks, and it's so interesting though because my studio is it's actually formulated or designed as a child's room. So everything from the bunk beds to the toys around to Barbie versus GI Joe, is definitely a child's world, and that's exactly how I like it. I don't want to grow up. I refuse. I refuse. Yeah. So I think you guys are going to get a really big kick out of this when you finally get to see it, and I always say, you got to collect what you love. You got to collect what you love, and once you do that, it's going to make a world of difference, no matter what it is. A lot of people try to stick with one thing, and that's fine. If you can do that, that's fine. But I like a lot of stuff. I like all kinds of stuff. So it's like, why not? It's my collection, right? So yeah. So enjoy what you're into, and then there's always this thing of you know guys who collect like hot toys, and they cringe at the thought of a Barbie or of a, I'll call it their action figures, a doll. Well, trust me if I tell you that if you were to give a child one of your hot toys, they're gonna call that a doll. So, right, right. That the reality is that in the old days, right, and in the child's eyes, it's a doll. So call it what you want. So that I always crack up, because especially when it comes to the female figures, um, call call it what you want, but like I said, it could be a doll. No, no, not a doll, no. Right. So with that, that's why I said that, I think that we become a little closed-minded when it comes to collection of what is male and what is female, and versus, what? It is a toy no matter how you slice it. And if you can make it work for your collection, thumbs up on that. So like I said, I have some Tanner that did an amazing job with some superheroes. Wait till you see my Harley Quinn and my Catwoman from Tanner. And then the Superman and Batman, smoking. And they look amazing with the rest of the collection. So I gotta say, thumbs up on that. Then the same thing with Barbie. Barbie, when it comes to the superhero collection, those collectibles are high end. They may start out low, but trust me when I tell you that with time, the price point on those is going up. So as a matter of fact, I have Black Widow from the movie that's not out yet, right? Where she's all in white. And I already saw on eBay that people are asking double the price on that already. And that's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, and I got to tell you, this whole eBay thing is sometimes it's a turn off, because people really are taking advantage of other people. And you know what? Like I say, if you could sell it and make buck on it, good for you. But I am not that type of buyer. It's why it's important that you do your research. You do your research. There's so many companies out there that sell collectibles. Do your research. Even now, I understand that people are getting into buying some from Facebook, because on Facebook you're basically buying exactly directly from the seller, where they like, there are no Facebook fees for them and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the issues, that eBay is putting all these demands and all these rules and all these fees on the sellers. And there's, in some cases, especially like when it comes to artists, it's kind of a ripoff. It's kind of a ripoff, the percentage of stuff that they want. So, yeah, do your research is all I'm saying. So with that said, so I'm going to throw it out to you. And leave me a comment, right? Pay attention to this now. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to do a few tours, actually, of some of my collectibles. So for one, I want to do a top 10 of my entire collection. Then I was going to do a top 10 of my 6-scale figures. I was going to do a Hot Toys top 10. But when I thought about it, it's like all my Hot Toys are not in one location. And I have Asthmas, I think that's how you say it, and 3-0, and I have some third-party collectibles as well, all 6-scale, that in some cases I like more than my Hot Toys. So because they're all displayed together, I thought that I would do a top 10 on those. But I gotta tell you, it's really, really tough picking a top 10. Like there's so many ones that I love, like right up there. How do you choose which is 1 and which is 2? So I mean, I've never done it. So as I was thinking about it, it's like, wow, this is really, really hard. Yeah, really, really hard. So then I was like, well, maybe I have to do top 20. That's and even that's hard, right? Because I think it's easier to do groups of 10s than it is to do 20, because that you say something 20 puts it all the way down there, was actually at the same level as another 10. So I don't know. I have to figure that out. So I'm gonna stick to the top 10 for now on the 6-scale figures. Then I was gonna do a top 10 on my entire collection, which would be a mix of everything, right? Because I was thinking about it, and there are a couple of Monster High that I have, and I would have never have thought it, that I really freaking love. I know, even as I'm saying it, I'm like, wow, that sounds odd, because I never thought that I was gonna be that much into Monster High. I've got a couple of figures and all that, and they're cool, but then Mattel, they upped their game with some of these other ones, right? So, for example, the Grady twins from The Shining, that one up there, that's way up there on my list. And then they have another one called Pinocchio's Sister. And the creativity behind that, first of all, that they did the sister, not Pinocchio. Genius. But, the display and how they did it and everything. Wait till I show you. I mean, it's smoking. So I'm excited to show you those. But like I'm saying, picking the top 10 of the entire collection, that is tough, because just in my G.I. Joes, I mean, I got some G.I. Joes that I'm like, wow. I mean, 3 or 4 of those could be my number 1. So there's torture. But, so I'm putting it out there to you guys. Tell me what you want to hear. You want to do my top, and tell me what you would like to see, the top 3 of the tours that I want to show you. You want to see my display of my 6-scale. You want to see, so here I listed them, actually. So I got my Hot Toys room, which is what I call my 6-scale room. There I have, Sideshow Collectibles, Hot Toys, 3-0, third party, Asthma's, which is part of Asthma's is Lord of the Rings, and 3-0 is Game of Thrones. Also there I have, my Sleepy Hollow, my Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I mean, the latest edition has been Hellboy, and that is like, wow, freaking love Hellboy. So that's like a lot in that within that tour. Then I have my GI Joe collection. Then I had the Barbie collection. I had the Monster High collection. I have the 70s toy collectibles. Then I have the collection closet number one, which is Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Spider-Man, Catwoman, Black Panther. Right, that's closet number one. Then closet number two is where I have my 70s collectibles, Ghostbusters. There's some Barbie in there. There's Integrity Toys in there. Some Tonner. Yeah. So right, Ghostbusters. Right. That's definitely closet number two. And then I could do another collection tour of Integrity Toys, and then a tour of my studio, the studio itself. So those are like at least 10 different tours that I could give you, that I'm ready to give you. Everything is set up. So you guys tell me what are your top three, and I'll show you. And I think that's going to be really exciting. And I had to break it up because every collection is extensive, so if I talk about my GI Joes, well, that's going to be at least 30 minutes to an hour, easily. If I go into one closet, there's like in closet number one, there's so much stuff in there. Oh my God, there's some exciting stuff in there. I was looking at it today and I was like, wow. Like I always love when I show somebody, they come to visit me and they go into that room and they're like, I freaking love that, right? And then there's this other closet which is probably like the size of this. These sort of slide over, and when I I slide one side, they're like, oh my God, it's like a toy store. And then I slide the other side, they're like, wow. For a collector, that's like music to your ears, right? And then also to see those expressions, freaking love it. Yeah, so let me know, guys, what it is that you want me to show you first, right? As far as the collection tours go. So you got your 6-scale figures, you got G.I. Joe, you got Barbie, Monster High, collection closet number one, collection closet number two, Integrity Toys. I can show you my studio. So yeah, let me know. All right, so then the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is one final thing, actually. Yeah, one final thing. Guess what time it is?
Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes,
that's right. It's mail time. I freaking love this part. Yeah, I love this part. So, the other day, I think I told you that finally, I got my Tony Stark, and I gotta say, I think I showed him in like episode 29 or so. I showed you that I got him all set up and stuff. But I was about to put the box away, and I gotta say that, I'm really curious to see if this is going to be the look of all the team suit Marvel from Endgame. If it's going to be the same box on all of them, except that the name is going to change, right? I gotta say that, it's interesting because I find that the simplicity of the box goes also with the simplicity of the figure. And as far as the price value compared to other figures, you kind of pay what you get for it, right? Because it is on a low end. And on that note alone, I thought that, like, Tony Stark offered enough of what we paid for. So I really liked the head sculpt is great. I think also too the helmet that lights up. That's a nice feature. I wasn't expecting that. and then the extra helmet that comes in from where he lost the battle, right? So I thought that was a pretty cool addition, and I myself, unlike some other people, am very pleased, very pleased with my Tony Stark. Really excited. So yay for him. So now I'm able to put him away. Now that I'll talk to you about that. So the other thing that came in the mail. So I was looking at eBay and looking for some integrity toys. And like I said, some of these prices get ridiculous. But once you know the market and once you know the value of your collection, right? And what you hear about what something is worth and so on, you get smart about it, right? So you know when you're getting a good deal and you know when you're not. So with that said, as I was looking for integrity toys, and the integrity toys I'm trying to build more. First of all, my gem collection is one thing, but I'm also trying to build on the male figures. I think that people like, for example, that collect Barbie don't really collect Ken. Like Barbie always surpasses them. The same thing with integrity toys. As far as the lines go, they'll come out with, let's say, 5 females and 1 guy, right? So I have been trying to build my collection on the guys. The same thing with Barbie. I'm trying to get more Kens than Barbies, just because it gives it the collection a different twist. So with that said, as I was looking for what was available in eBay, I found out that Integrity Toys has like a vintage line, like the boxes, there's no comparison from what they started out with to where they ended up now. But I didn't know that, and as I'm looking at this box, I'm like, is that an Integrity toy? And I had to research it, and sure enough, it is. So here it is. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's a trip. Yeah, that is a big trip, and the reason it's a trip is because there's no way that it resembles what they sell today, right? So when I saw the price of this, it was very telling in how inexpensive this collection was when it came out. And where now there are just as expensive, they're getting just in some cases as expensive as some of the Hot Toys. So it's really interesting to see that progression. As a collector, it's not the happiest thing, but the quality is extremely different. So with this one, they used to be called Studio It, and it started out with the Janae doll. And then they have the three dolls that came out for this collection. So I looked it up, and it says that the company was founded in 1995 by Percy Newsom, who is from Maryland. And one thing that I liked about them is that at that time there was an absolute lack of diversity on dolls. There was no diversity, and their purpose was to bring in diversity. And I gotta say, when it comes to diversity, they nailed it. They nailed it. Yeah, everything from different cultures and ethnicities to different sexual orientation to different lifestyles. I mean, they really have done an amazing job and are so current that it's so great to see that. So yay for Mr. Percy Newsom. I'm really ecstatic about this collection, how it has changed and how it keeps bringing up more amazing things. So good for them. So yeah, to give you an example of the difference. So here is. This one was from, 2006. All right? 2006. to more recent. See what I mean? This is a big, big difference. So where you get this before, which by the way, I'm never going to pull her out of the package just because that package for being that old is in freaking mint condition. This is not going to be made anymore like this. So I may get a couple of more just to have like a trio of this design like that. And what I like about this one in particular is that the face sculpt kind of reminds me of some of the face sculpts that are in the new dolls. So I think that the Janae is like, for example, like Barbie is Barbie no matter what year it is, right? And they modify her, they advance her looks, they do some changes. The same thing is happening with this character. She is part of the Integrity Toys collection throughout time. However, you're never going to get a Janae like this again. This is past, right? So now, this is the way the Integrity Toys is presented. And first of all, the box alone, they're all like amazing, sturdy boxes. Each, they have, I think, like different lines within the collection. So there is like, I believe this one is the Monarchs Collection, which means basically is all men. Then you have New Phase, New Fantasy, 59th Street, right? Those are all different groupings. And in this one, the Monarchs was the male collection, and this is the line that I'm trying to get all completed. So look at the difference, right? So first of all, magnetic box, nice. But look at the way that's packaged. I mean, that's a huge, huge, huge difference. Look at that. Huge difference. Right? Everything from the quality of the doll to the clothing, to the packaging, to the accessories, to how current it is. I mean, big, big difference. Yeah. So amazing. Amazing. So I was extremely happy to have found this as part of the collection. So yay. So yeah, so that was exciting. And then, I have been I've been hearing from having conversation with some of you guys here on my channel, and it's been great. I got to tell you, it's been really great talking with you guys and girls, right? Having the conversation, and I feel the excitement when somebody says, "Oh, did you get this?" or "You get that?" or "Oh, when you get this, you're gonna love it." And I love that. So please leave me some comments. Let's have that conversation. Let's compare some notes. Tell me what you have. So finally, I got the Mandalorian Child. Yes, the deluxe version. And I'm stoked. Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, the way they're doing this line and then in the boxes is beautiful. I love the contrast. I mean, that's just amazing. So I love that. And I wish I could display my boxes, but these boxes are huge and I don't have that type of space, especially with collecting all different kinds of things. It is just not happening. There's only one person that I've seen that does it and does it well. And I think his name is Dean Knight. Right? I think he's in the UK. He's a funny though, because I remember there was an episode where he removed the boxes and just had the figures. It didn't look as good, and he realized that, so he put the boxes back, and it makes a huge difference. But the way he has to display, because he basically has like it almost looks like a long tunnel, right? It's like what do you call a galley room, where he's able to display his shelving in a straight line, so it's a continuous thing, and he has, I think, 2 shelves, and they look beautifully lined up that way. So he's able to put the box and then the figure in front of it, and it looks fantastic. I myself, I don't have that type of room or that type of setup. But I was really, really pleased also when I opened these boxes and you get this type of artwork. I mean, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I wish that I could find a way to display this as a backdrop because that's just beautiful. I mean, that great, great, great photography on that. Yeah, so very good for you, Hot Toys. Very good. Yeah, so if you guys are thinking of getting it, or you haven't got yours yet, or you got yours and there's certain things that you don't understand, because I got to tell you, it's a complicated figure. Yeah, it's a complicated figure. And when I first unboxed it, right, and I started pulling things out because I was so excited, I was like, oh my God. And then it was late, and I I looked at all those pieces, I was like overwhelmed. I was like, ooh, I'm just gonna put that away. I'll just put it in my studio and I'll look at it later. Right? So I'm glad that I did. Because while I was the next day, was it today? I think it was yesterday. I decided to I think no, today. I decided to look at the Sideshow unboxing. And I really, as far as the unboxings go, I like Sideshow. I like Sideshow's unboxing more so than the other guys because they have a moderator who is taking questions from online questions, and there's a moderator who goes between those conversations and the guy who's doing the unboxing, which is Guy, and they got a nice system going. So with that said, they also have like the appropriate lighting for it, and they got the turntables, but also too, because it is sold through Sideshow, they know their stuff. They know the stuff. So this guy, Guy, he even knows, I forget what I'll show you. Like there's this piece here that it goes, I guess you could change the shoulder pad, right? That little plate. And he even knew the name of that, which I don't remember what it is, but I had to watch it again and pay attention to what the name of this is. But I thought that was really, really cool. So, he gives you more information that I've noticed than other guys are able to do. So with that said, when I looked at this whole thing, like I saw there were like some batteries, right? And I was like, okay, well, something lights up. But by looking at it, I couldn't tell you what it was at all. And then I saw that there was like all this stuff that I was like, ooh, like, what is that for? What is this for? Trust me when I tell you, I highly recommend that you watch the video. We'll go on YouTube and watch the unboxing of the Mandalorian and the Child, done by Sideshow, and it will give you all the information that you need. The only thing that I did wasn't explained, which I'm going to look at some photos and stuff, was this guy here. But I noticed too that I think this is a magnet. So I am not really sure. I don't remember in the series what this was a part of. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was a part of. Yeah, and I'm not even sure if that's magnet or not, but yeah, so I'm not sure about this. So that's the only thing that I was a little confused. And there are actually a couple of little things that I'm gonna have to research and see how it is they use it. And then also watch the video again because there's some things I think that I missed because there's just so much. This, like I said, it's a complicated figure. So let's start out with the figure itself. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so before we start out actually with him, let's talk about the base. Right? So immediately when I put this together, I hate this thing. Yeah, there are a couple of my troopers that have this thing as well, and I hate the waist grabber. I don't like it because, for example, with him, if you were to use this waist grabber, right? He's got like all that stuff. So, you know, you're going to be putting pressure on something that you don't want to put pressure on. And on top of that, this is without the jetpack. So I would not recommend using that waist grabber at all. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to remove that. I was just, it's like I knew when to get what, how to put that together. So I did it without even thinking about it, without really observing him. But I'm definitely going to remove that. So when they showed him on Sideshow, they actually just had him standing on the base. And I think I'm not even sure if they even used the base. So I'm going to use it just with the base and to remove the entire pole. This whole thing, because I think that he's able to balance pretty well on this. And the reason that I recommend that you use the base is because, here, let's just go ahead and get rid of this. There's another part to the base. This part here. And when I looked at it, I was like, well, did the batteries go in that? And I was told like there was no way batteries go in this. So then I was like, well, exactly how do they work that? So what it is that you can see it has a corner cut, right? You see? And that basically, you line it up to the corner, right? So then when I was looking at him, I saw, well, he had the child standing on this, and I look at this thing, and I'm like, well, there's no hole, right? So because you're supposed to, this is the stand for the shell for his crib, and there was no hole. So I looked at this thing, and I was like, after watching the video, I was like, I missed what he did with this, and I looked at it, I was like, okay, well, probably there's something that you remove. And guess what? I was right. One of the rocks on the top, one of these, you see, so they're all like rocks and stuff. This one here, you pop out. And then you're able to put in the stand, right? So then whatever side you decide to use this on, that's what it would look like. So that the crib is standing beside him. And then this one has the footprints, which I then put put him on the base, and you can move his feet around to fit the footprints perfectly. So that was kind of cool if you decide to use this base. So that was interesting, and then I would recommend that you take the rock and then use a part of your diorama. You could take that rock and just put it onto the base and it'll look natural, right? So that's a thought. And then another thing that you might want to consider is getting some other rocks, some real rocks, and making it part of the diorama. And I think that would look pretty cool as well, because you could get different sizes and stuff and give it even a better realistic look to it. So consider, guys. You heard it from me, right? So that was interesting. And then, so since we're talking about this, let's go ahead and stay with the child before we go into the Mandalorian, because he, like I said, is pretty complicated. So one of the things about the child is that it comes with two children. So the first one is a standing one. And so his head is articulated, it moves, but nothing else moves, right? And I thought it was pretty cool. They gave him like little feet with, you see his little paws, right? I think that's really cute. But really, unless he falls over, you wouldn't even notice that. But you pop the head off, it comes off to put on the chain. So when I saw the chain, I was like, oh, what's that for? And then when I saw the video, he explained that you pop off the head and then you put the chain on and then you put the head back on. And I really like it with the chain. It makes him a little more interesting. And the chain was a big part of the movie, of the series. So yay for them for doing this. So then I was like, well, why would you have two child? And so the reason for it is because With the second child, he comes in the egg, right? And there's another thing that is there is the blanket. So the inside of it, that's pretty cool, right? But then it has a blanket, and I just threw it in there to make it look, like this. There you go, like this got the blanket, right? But the one thing about him is that this one is just half a body because he's in the shell, but it's magnetic. So that's pretty cool, right? He just literally sticks onto there, and then his head also moves around, right? He's able to go from one side to the other. So when you watch the Sideshow video and the demonstration, the unboxing, they suggest that you just remove him because when you put the cover on him, you see his paws are on the edge. So they suggest, you just remove him and then put the shell on. But you actually, all you have to do is take him off and push him back. And then take the shell and then close it. Right? Yeah, just like that. And then this here would then go on the base. So when you do it this way, you're then able to, there we go. And then, you can swivel this however you want. Normally it's just beside him, so, right? So there it is, right? And then if you do it that way, then this child is what you would see, right? So it doesn't look funny with the two of them. So that's one. So that's what it is. If you have this closed and you use this one, but if you have this one exposed, I think you could take this one and use them with one of the other figures. So, so I thought that was pretty cool that they gave you that option, right? Yeah, but Grogu, very, 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 very cute. Very cute. So that was really cool, and I really do like his little shell. I think that's I just wish it was die cast. I think if it was die cast, it would make it really cool versus the plastic. But it's all right, no big deal. So yeah, so that is one thing that I wanted to tell you about that rock and the peg, right? And then the head with the chain, remember that, right? So keep it over to the side. Okay, so then there was this thing. And when I saw the show, because I looked at this thing and I was like, okay, I know it opens up somehow, but I had no idea how. And you got to be careful sometimes with these collectibles, because you may go the wrong way, and next thing you know, snap. It's a horrible feeling. Horrible feeling. So I saw that this part here that goes on top, it actually pops out. So you pull up on one side and then you pull up on the other, and both pop out at the same time. In there is where you see the screw for the battery, and it has 3 batteries that you go in there. So I'm one of those guys that I actually, in most of the cases, for something that I could easily use, I'll use the battery. The only thing that I don't like about things like this, because it was the same thing with Tony Stark, his helmet, there was a piece on top that you had to remove to turn on the switch. And that's kind of a pain in the butt, because the reality is that he's in glass, right, in a glass cabinet. I had to open up the door. He's surrounded by other things, so I got to be careful. So with him, I didn't want to put the cap on his helmet back in place, because it was going to be a freaking hard time every time I had to pop it out to turn on the switch. So I just kind of I rested it on top, so that it's easy for me to just pop it over and do the switch real quick when I want to showcase it. Other than that, I'm not going to bother. So with this one, that's probably what I would do as well. You see, and if you just leave it on top of there, nobody's going to really know the difference. And it kind of, I think it looks kind of cool. It's just like a lid that's kind of coming off, right? And the switch is in there to turn it on and off. So the cool thing about it is that with the switch, what happens is that, okay, so first of all, 3 sides pop open. right? So the way it pops open underneath here, right there, you see that little opening? That right there pops out, and then this thing opens up like that. And then the light is like an amber light, lights up the entire inside. And that effect is really, really, really cool. Then this thing here, right here, right, this piece here, you see it's got that circle? That is what goes in the center there. Just like that. Then this here, which is, I guess, another piece, and I don't remember what these were, but this here is magnetized, so it just pops right on top. Right, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that is lit. This is open. This I just will put. Let's see. Oh, it goes over here. Just like that, right? Yeah. See, so there you have it. So I really think that that is sweet. Now, I don't remember, I don't even know who this is. I think it's the Mandalorian. I thought that maybe he goes in the center in there, but I don't remember. I have to really pay attention to what this is because there's a reason why we have this. Maybe. You know, I don't know, with Darth Maul, there was a couple of holograms that came out, and I didn't understand why they included that. Maybe it's just a little something extra to appease us. I don't know. So that is the child and the battery operation, the shell and all that, and the stand, right? We covered that. So then one of the questions that I noticed that some people had on Facebook was about the cape. And they were talking about that hole. And somebody else said, oh, well, I have that hole too, you know, it's just part of the cape or something. Well, there's a reason for it. Okay, it's not just there because they decided to put a hole there. There's actually a reason for it. And the reason for it is that this thing here, this holder right here is actually, I believe, is part of the holder for this long rifle gun thing, right? And so the strap, there's a hole. Let's see, I'm going backwards. So there's a hole right there for the strap. See that? So that goes into that. Then this swings over his shoulder, and actually the cape, remember, he had the cape more on one side. So I exposed it that way so that the cape is on this side and not the other side. So therefore the strap goes over, and I believe that the holder comes through the hole, and then this here goes through it to hold it in place. Right? He's like the holder for it. So that's what I understand. However, if you're going to be using the jetpack, which I think was the only part that was weird, is that the cape is not removable. It is not removable. However, if you use the jetpack, which is right here, which is actually a pretty cool thing. You know, the other jetpacks that I have, even on the Heavy Mando, there was a clip that, you know, you clip it on and then something else snapped in. So it was a little tricky for some people more so than others, right? But with this one, they made it metallic. So it's magnetized, I mean. So with that, it easily attached, right? However, I think that it makes it a little weird with the cape. Like I had to look at some photos to see, well, how do they work the jetpack with the cape? Because it seems odd. Yeah, it seems odd to me that, because, you know, you don't want to cover the jetpack because it's flames, right? So I'm assuming that that's the way it's going to look, right? So one thing about that is remove the jetpack, and you're going to add the fire coming out of it, and that is pretty easy. So they do it like on a turning position so that it goes in versus forcing it in, but if you turn it, it goes in pretty nicely and very easy, right? And there it is, right? And then you would take that. So somebody actually asked if they, you could just put it on the cape, and you can, but that looks kind of dumb. Yeah, that looks dumb to me. And I'm not really sure that it's going to stay as well. So there's the jetpack, right? So if you use the jetpack, then this, I suggest that then he holds in his hand, right? That's the best way to do it. You're not going to be able to use both of them at the same time. It's a whole different look. So with this figure, it's more interactive than some of the other figures because by adding some of these things that it came with, you're not going to have any choice but to play with your figure. So I'm going to set it up with as many things as possible that I can, and see how that looks. So that is the deal with the jetpack. So now you know, right? So then the other thing that I learned, so this thing with the hole was really, really informative. I was like, okay, well that's kind of genius. Here, let me go ahead and do it for you so that you could see what they meant by it. Yeah, so you see, right? And there it is. Yeah, you see the contrast? Yeah, so that's pretty cool, right? That's a pretty creative thing that they did there. So now you know that the cape, if it comes with a hole, don't freak out. It's part of the costume. It's part of the design. All right, so it's good to know that. Because I noticed that some other guys, and when they were giving that poor guy who just bought one, he's like, oh, mine came with a hole, does anybody, is that supposed to be that way? It doesn't really bother me, but, I'm not going to return it. But it seems like nobody really knew. So by looking at this Sideshow video is extremely helpful. So therefore, I felt smart. So yeah, and then it talks about some of these other things that are happening here as well. It's got a holster for the really cool gun. There's a holster. So that gun is really, really cool. So I really like that. Then the other thing that was great about watching the show is that the video was that on the top of his arm, these things right here, like that plate right there, it pops out. So when that pops out, you have these other pieces that attach to it. And then one thing that they showed too, which I thought was really interesting, is that there's this other flamethrower here, and I believe you hook it up to the side like that on his arm. Right, so that was interesting how they did that. But so this plate here on top of here, it pops out, and then you're able to attach some other things to it that come with it. So when you look at the Sideshow, for example, there is this piece here, this tiny little piece that when I saw it, I was like, whoa, what is that about? Well, this is the armor, the shooting position. So it's like open, ready to be fired. And so where here is flat. So when you take this piece and you replace it with this one, that's what it looks like he's getting ready to fire. So, those little things. Then there's another piece here, which I would have never, ever, ever have guessed if I did not look at the video, is this piece here that is actually like a camera, right? And you can see there's like supposed to be like a light to it right there at the end. That white thing is like the light. Well, there's a piece on his helmet right here that pops out. And when you pop that out, which I'm not exactly sure which side, I think it's supposed to be this side. When you pop that side out, yeah, I'm not really sure. And I don't want to pop it out until I really know for sure. This then goes in. See, there's that part there. That part goes in so that the camera is now facing on the side of his helmet. So I thought that was really, really cool. And I'm definitely going to add this piece to it because it makes the helmet look a little more interesting than just the way that is, right? Yeah, I think that by adding that to the side of it, that it'll make him look a lot more interesting. So that was really, really informative. So then the other thing on this arm too, this thing pops out. This here pops out. And then you're able to put in this piece on top. And this is that part that's like a smoke, right? Remember the smoke? Like his arrows, right? And that goes on top of his arm like that. So if you have him shooting out, that's the way that would look, right? Yeah, and then on the other side, on top of that is where you had the fire and the shooting arm. This piece here is on the other side. So yeah, so you know, these are some of the things that, and then there's I believe, let's see, I'm trying to see, there's a holder for his knife. Oh yeah, I think that, yeah, there are actually a couple of things that, you know, I still don't know what it is for. So for example, there's this plate here. There are a couple of other things, you know, I mean, there's like a whole bunch of things, right? So, but as far as the main stuff goes, like the most important thing, without watching that video, I wouldn't have guessed that on my own for sure. So that was really, really informative, and it made the figure a lot more exciting. Yeah, so yay for Mando. So I can't wait to display him tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm gonna put the batteries in this thing, display him. I'm gonna put him on my turntable in the light box, and I'll show you tomorrow what he looks like all set up. So yay, yay, yay. So my friends, that is my video for today. Sorry that it was too long, but I wanted to go into the detail of that. I knew that it was going to be interesting to you. So thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you want me to give you a tour on. I'm excited about that. I'm ready to show you some stuff. So guys, take care. Be good. And I'll talk to you later. See ya.